Aloha, y'all. It is Tuesday, ruled by Tears Day, Tuesday, the 20th of October. Today is a third eye day. So if you're going to be doing meditation, be getting into your ajna, your third eye, do all the chakras. But if you're going to be focusing on one, the third eye is today. So do mudras, mantras, try to clear, balance, and rest in the frequency of the third eye, the ajna. And today, according to Dreamspell, is a red planetary serpent guided by space. I will go ahead now and tell you what that means. So, red planetary serpent, third eye day, the 20th day of October. Red serpent tribe is about survival, life force, and instinct. The gift of your cosmic identity is to be an agent of awakened vitality, an ambassador of infinite body wisdom, an instrument of sentience, a living expression of primal creativity. As a red serpent, you have the capacity to honor yourself as an authentic creature of the earth, to unlock and express your passion and enthusiasm, to listen to the language of your body and follow its rhythms, to sense when to trust instinct rather than intellect, to experience the body as a vehicle of the soul, to open your physical vessel to access expanded states of feeling, knowing, and divine connection, to learn to raise your kundalini life force through all your body's chakras and become a rainbow-feathered serpent, to ground the cosmos in your cells. The path to the stars is through the senses. Direction is east, initiates. Chakra is the crown, and planet is Maldek or the asteroid belt. Planetary tone 10 is perfection, production, and manifestation. Tone 10 represents actualization and fruition. The gift of your cosmic identity is to access the power of attainment. Activate your planetary powers by being a manifester, one who makes things happen, by uniting essence and the physical, merging spirit and matter, by helping personal or collective visions to materialize, by sensitizing to what elements must be added, removed, or refined in order for it to all come together, by dancing with the paradox of continually aspiring to become your best, while knowing that you are already perfect as you are right now. By triumphantly sharing your gifts with the world, by actualizing your love for life in our planetary home, by acknowledging that we all bring that all we bring to this world, our thoughts, words, and deeds, directly contributes to the planetary equation, by knowing yourself and all others as planetary kin, equal and essential members of Earth's community. So the galactic affirmation for red planetary serpent kin 205 is, I perfect in order to survive, producing instinct. I seal the store of life force with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of space. I am a polar kin. I extend the red galactic spectrum. So, let's go ahead and pull some cards, shall we? Interesting times. This has been a very interesting year, but Libra season also. A lot of learning about relationships, self in relation to relationships with others. Um, this whole American election process is kind of externalizing that very radically. So what can we get on this Tuesday, this Tears Day? We've got the World card. Beautiful card, beautiful lesson. Today, this year, rather, not today, it's 2020's Judgment card, 20th card out of the 22, Major Arcana 0 is Fool, 20 is Judgment, and then the last card, the 22nd card, but number 21, is the World card. We're going to come into some apotheosis next year, I believe, where we know it's all us anyway. So it's going to be this amazing kind of moment, I believe. This too shall pass. We're going that way, so fear not. But at the same time, getting there isn't always the easiest. It's the trip we're on now. The World card, an auspicious period. You have achieved success in your endeavor. Walk in harmony with Mother Earth. Gather your tribe and give your best. The World card, universe, I am your beloved conduit for the radiance and grace of life. Right? So that's the I am energy, and then this is the individual kind of being the manifestation of consciousness made manifest in the 3D, if you want to put it that way. This is the last card in the Major Arcana. We meet the piercing gaze of the Earth Shamanka warrioress, standing resolute, fully present. She rises out of the ground, embodying the immense force of Mother Nature. A wise, ancient being, the magic of alchemy and sacred earth mystery are woven into her crafted armor, worn with powerful elegance. Around her is the skeleton of industry, a former factory now transformed by nature into some great cathedral or temple. The world is her church. The twisted branches reaching into the space represent the ancient bristlecone pines, the oldest non-clonal organism on the planet. Recent research in forests suggests that the biggest and therefore oldest of the trees, known as the mother trees, have vast mycorrhizal networks of fungi below ground that support young trees or seedlings, preferentially ferrying them the nutrients they need to grow. The ancient mother tree is a recurrent theme or motif in the Starman Tarot, delivering the energy of the miraculous tree, ancient, rooted in the wild earth, having lived through so many epochs, an ever-present witness to the stream of life that has come and gone. It reminds us to respect and honor nature that is so formidably strong, for her presence will prevail no matter what we think and say about saving the planet. Mother Nature always decides and stands as the shamanka, unapologetic, displaying her defenses. Although considerably advanced in years, she remains vital and potent, provocatively sensual and fecund. She exhibits her fertility with handfuls of grain and the cacao pods laid out before her, sacred food of the gods that originated in South America many thousands of years ago. They are some of the most complex and nutritiously, I can't speak, some of the most complex and nutritiously dense foods in existence, cacao pods. The gifts she gives us her abundance freely and offers us one of the great treasures of all, the royal metal, the gold ingot, fashioned into an astonishing artifact for millennia. Gold was, above all, sacred to the sun deities, kept in trust by the priesthood and used in ceremony and ritual to maintain the balance and harmony of nature. In return, there is an offering of the sacred medicine plant, tobacco, whose smoke carries all thoughts, feelings, and prayers to Mother Earth Shamanka and the creator of the world. The world is a highly auspicious and invites success in any endeavor you walk the path if you walk the path of integrity and offer your work and projects in service of humanity and the earth. You are finally mastering life and are literally taking the world by storm. As a clear vessel and a channel unfazed by the tumultuous changes in the cycles of life, you are tenderly and expertly balance these compelling and natural energies: earth, water, fire, air. The elements are experienced as marvelous instruments that can be played together to make exquisite music and harmony which resounds through the universe. It is time to gather your tribe and be a force for good. Right? The World card, one of the best cards. I love it. Last one in the Major Arcana, the World card, an auspicious period. We're entering, whether we feel like it or not, a good time. You have achieved success in your endeavor. Walk in harmony with Mother Earth. Gather your tribe and give your best. This is about showing up to the party, because the party is you. You're witnessing everything as a process, and there's good and bad all down here and all these dynamics, but up here you say, I prefer to watch this, and this is why it's happening. Right? The I am energy of God, creator, witness, consciousness, watching all the details in their myriad of forms play out in the dynamics that are the Tao. That's kind of what the World card is. As above, so below. As above, so below. As within, so without. That is that. So let's go ahead and get a clarifier. With the sun in Libra and the moon in Sag, this is very appropriate. She's even got her hands out like a Libra scale. Just kind of like, and moon in Sagittarius is all about finding truth, the truth of God, the truth of spirit. And that's what we're finding. The truth is that it's all us, and we are a micro fractal of the big fractal, and we're playing in a fractal of dream consciousness and huzzah. The song never ends, but it changes, that kind of stuff, right? So the clarifier we're getting is the Queen of Fire. The Queen of Fire. With a Sagittarius moon, how apropos, right? Straight up. So, the Queen of Fire, let me figure out where that is. Hopefully you're all doing well. Bringing your best to the day and looking at every opportunity as a lesson and a gift. That's just the best way to be, right? The Queen of Fire. Keywords: warm, vibrant, sexual, sensual, independent, primal, expansive, and energetic. Super Sagittarius moon energy. Key phrases: be optimistic and enthusiastic. Engage and stimulate all the senses. Give your full attention. Be focused and confident. Take pleasure in life. Don't second guess yourself. Hold your head up high and avoid petty behavior. The Queen of Fire is a strong and powerful woman. She is someone who is not afraid to go after that which she desires most. She is focused and determined and very optimistic. Those around her find her charismatic and engaging. Her warm and expansive nature draws people to her like moths to a flame. She is also a very primal, sensual woman. She engages her senses in all that she does. She's the type of person who will always look you in the eye, will reach out and touch your hand and listen closely, giving you all of her attention. She savors life like it is a glass of fine wine or velvety dark chocolate. Because guess what? She is here as the embodiment and witnessing it all, and she enjoys everything that happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's all good. She is vibrant, alive, and unforgettable. She has the power to change your life in the moment you first meet her. Her independent nature makes her a leader, naturally, and not a follower. Her confident and self-assured manner has her achieving all that she sets her mind to do, and because she is so embracing and kind and not interested in competing with anyone, she is loved by many. A natural extrovert, she loves being the center of attention, but she also gives her attention in equal measure. When the Queen of Fire appears in your reading, she's asking you to be optimistic and positive. Now it is time to focus on the pleasures of life and enjoying what you do. Be bold and be daring, be fearless. Now is not the time to second guess yourself or allow doubts to prevent you from acting upon an idea or plan that will bring positive change and growth to your life. She also suggests that you seek out a Queen of Fire type if you need help. She has a vast network of friends and associates, and she's only too happy to point you in the right direction if you're looking for aid. Don't be afraid to ask for her guidance. This queen is the kind of person who takes just as much delight in others' success as she does in her own. The Queen of Fire symbolizes living a full life and being fully present in every moment. Live a sensory life. Stimulate your senses, all of them. See, hear, listen, touch, taste. Your senses are a true gift. Put them into use. Why? Because what we experience is meant to be experienced. The world is our oyster to explore. There's better and worse ways to do that. Ultimately, it's all basically a school of experience to understand polarity, incarnation, cause and effect, all these things, right? But this world we're in as an avatar is a creation, right? And it's all good. There's a time and a season for everything. There's a time to be celibate. There's a time to have sex. There's a time to be drunk. There's a time to be sober. There's a time, there's a time for everything. And not to basically play favorites with that, just to accept and honor and fully be in the moment as the moment presents itself to you. Part of the problem of, addiction to anything, whether it's substances or relationships or ideals or beliefs or whatever, is that we project that they're going to, something's not good enough right now and that's going to fix it. And that's not the case. Right now it's saying be positive and optimistic and present fully in the dream as the avatar. Enjoy the fucking ride, basically. And that's going to look different for different people. Hit me up for a reading if you want to kind of know your schematic, so to speak, based off your astrology chart. Love giving readings. People love getting them. 5 stars only. Can't make that shit up. No bad reviews. Everyone's like, this changed my life. It's like, that's what I'm here for. But we're all here to experience. That's why we're here. And sometimes experience is about denying sensations and getting into a hermit cave and like going, and like, right, that's a level of it. Sometimes the level of it's going to the festival. Sometimes the level of it is crying. Sometimes the level of it is stubbing your toe and shouting, God damn it, right? Like, there's all sorts of levels to life, and that's okay. Passionately, confidently, optimistically step into every moment and know that you are here to be a force of consciousness, and you are here to help yourself and others to the whole panoply of options at our, at our disposal, right? Leap of Faith, 57, Orion is the galactic heritage card we're getting. So we need to take that leap of faith and not doubt, everything that's happening is what we're asking for and believe we deserve or need to experience at some level. Everything, whether it's a Holocaust or winning the lottery or whatever, right? We have to take the leap of faith. We already have taken a leap of faith, if you want to put it that way. We leapt into incarnation. That's the leap of faith. We said, I'm part of unity consciousness, and I'm going to go see what differentiation looks like. That's a leap of faith. And now we're realigning to that truth as an individual within the whole, right? All in the one in the all. So this is very positive and optimistic. Sagittarius moon, Libra sun, where it's like, oh, this is beautiful. This is awesome. Everything balances out. Everything has a purpose. The to and the fro, the yin and the yang, all that jazz. It's all good, but we have to jump into that fully and not just half-ass it, right? Leap of faith, present timeline, 57, Orion. For thousands of years, humans have been used to living with the mindset of polarity. We continue to label things as good or bad. If we don't know how to label something, we feel confused or insecure. But now that it is time to integrate polarity and transform as a species, we must take a leap of faith, jumping off the cliff into the unknown to a realm where labels like that don't exist. Is it good? Is it bad? It's life, baby. That's life, writ large. That's the world. It's all the things. It's anything you want it to be. It's anything that you subconsciously need it to be. That's the real kicker, where people are like, well, I don't want this as like subconsciously you do, or you wouldn't be experiencing it. We got to take that leap, jumping off the cliff into the unknown to a realm where labels like that don't exist. We must learn to simply be with things as they are. Being in the world, You're not of it, ultimately, in a sense. You're above it, but you're witnessing. You're going to be here, going to saturate and steep in the stew of being in a world. That's what the world card is. And we can do that with optimism, positivity, buoyance, elation, even. As we do this, our consciousness transforms and we heal once and for all the old wounds from our Orion heritage. This card connects to an Orion history when they were healing millennia. So not just like a day or a week or a year, a bad fucking presidential cycle, millennia of polarity, which is similar to what is happening on Earth today. Blacks versus whites, men versus women, Democrats versus Republicans, sinners versus saints. This polarity is in our fucking consciousness, and we're dealing with it. When a species or a person lives in polarity for a long time, it becomes used to how a polarity reality looks and feels. When we're in the world, we become steeped in it. There's a great movie called Knight of Cups, which is about Christian Bale being this, like, you know, you were a prince and you fell into this Gnostic dream, and you got to remember that you're a prince, kind of like going from the eyeball into the world, then coming back up to the eyeball. We have been in the game so long that we think the game is all there is. The game matters while we're in it, right, at that level, but this is the eye of consciousness, the eye of providence on top of the Illuminati pyramid, if you want to put it that way, where it's like, you know, God is watching everything. We are consciousness witnesses all, and this is just a bifurcation of consciousness into a subset, if you want to put that, creation, and it's good and it's purpose and it has meaning and purpose, and it is what it is. But we can be convinced that this is all there is. It's like if an actor was on stage and like forgot that they were reading a script, and like, you know, and action, and they get so engrossed in the moment that they're like, they are the character. That's what we're doing. That's what life is. We've taken that leap of faith, but we need to know that the polarity game, all as convincing and as persistent as that is, isn't the ultimate truth. Unity is. When a species or a person lives in polarity for a long time, it becomes used to how that polarity looks and feels. Anything new is frightening, and the ego is frightened of the unknown. But if we don't walk into the unknown, we stay stuck. So it becomes essential that we take a leap of faith when we can't see our destination clearly. I'm having to do this personally on a lot of levels, as are we all collectively right now, I'm sure. The Orions had to do this in ancient times, and humanity will have to do this as well. Take a look at the text of the card 55, which I'm not going to do. Unexpected and miraculous transformations that we cannot anticipate with the logical mind are possible, right? It's beyond belief. You know, this is this holographic fractal fucking matrix thing, and it's not a prison particularly, but it can be looked at that way in a negative polarized sense. It's a terrarium of experience, and our ego is stuck down here saying, oh my gosh, if it's raining, I'll get wet. Oh my gosh, if I'm hungry, I'll die. Oh my gosh, if I don't fuck, I won't have kids. Whatever, that kind of stuff. And up here, consciousness is just going, that's how this acts, if given certain circumstances. It's learning through itself, through a passion play, Queen of Fire, Sagittarius moon, through the truth of what? Incarnation. We've taken the leap, and now we have to take another leap back into unity, essentially, which was never not the case. It's always been the case. We just divided ourselves from it in such a way that we felt lost, or God abandoned us, or oh my gosh, you know, there's no meaning to life and stuff. And in a sense, there's no meaning. We're in a fucking movie. The movie is the movie. The movie can. This gets complicated. You could find all of truth and meaning in the movie of Harry Potter, but at the same time, Harry Potter is just a movie. It's reflecting reality. It's an Ouroboros kind of mirroring. That's what this matrix is. So it's saying, do you need to trust more and take a leap of faith and about something if you cannot see the outcome? If you feel deep within yourself and trust your intuition, you will always know when it is time to take the leap of faith. Sometimes fear can be used as a gauge. A high degree of fear about a leap of faith might be a sign that the leap is what is needing to occur to move into the next step of your evolution, right? So if we've been doing something for a long time and we just think that's just how it is, and that's, you know, this is my life, maybe take a leap, and you say, oh, if we take that thing away, and you go, oh my God, I won't be myself. Oh my gosh, I won't love life. Oh my God, all these things, right? The downside to the Queen of Fire, she's so passionately attached at some level, she's so engaged that maybe she's taking this place so seriously she's forgetting that it's a school and not, you know, the ultimate thing, right? And she's like, oh my God, all my senses, I feel, I touch, I taste, give me the chocolate, give me the sex, give me the drugs, give me the rock and roll. And it's like, yo, like, that's fine, but know that that's not ultimately what it is. We have to take the leap of faith and let go of things we're attached to. The attachments. And in a sense, when we do that, that's when the thing becomes we become right relationship to that thing. Everything is good. Everything can be bad. Everything can be good. It's a matter of how we're attached to them and how we're processing through them. identity and attachment seem to be the issue. That's why Christ is about dying to oneself. That's why Buddha is saying it's all suffering as long as you're attached to things, right? This is why this shit's coming up. Bison is ritual. Number 35, my age. What's my age again? 35. Okay, so number 35, bison ritual. Live with authenticity and peace. Do not live how other people wish you to live. Your life is yours. Bringing the peace of ritual into our lives can heal us. Nourish yourself and develop habits that are beneficial and useful for you and your family. Sun and Libra, think about yourself and others. Moon and Sagittarius, be authentic to your truth. That's the only thing that's going to make you happy. Veganism makes me feel appropriate, but if I was to project that onto other people, whether it's true ultimately or not, and they didn't align with it, they're not going to be happy with that. They have to understand their own truths. And rituals, whether it's psychedelics or meditation or tantra or saying thanks before a meal or looking at life as this wondrous mystery trip, the ritual of life itself. Life is a ritual on multiple levels. When we engage life as a ritual, we can participate with the magic at a totally different level, basically. The chief of the Lakota tribe was trying to lead his people through a time of great famine. The buffalo had deserted them, and no rain had fallen. He decided to send out 2 strong scouts to look for food. Sun and Libra, 2 strong what? Scouts. Sagittarius is that archer looking. I think they even have their archers. So this is very resonant already. The 2 Sun and Libra people to go search and find new truths and understand why they're being fucked with. Mercury and Scorpio retrograde, but also Moon and Sag. As they traveled through difficult country, they found little, but they kept going. Venus and Virgo, where it's like, yo, this isn't easy, but we're going to keep practically doing it. Why? Because it brings value to us, and we're going to increase the health of ourselves and our tribe. Even though I'm walking through fucking knee-deep snow and crossing rivers, and oh my gosh, this sucks. It's like they keep going. As they walked, they saw a lovely woman dressed in shining white upon the horizon. A lovely woman, queen of fire. One of the scouts immediately lusted after a woman and shared with his companion that if she was as beautiful close up as she looked from afar, he would seize her as his wife. Once again, attachment, right? To the world. He was like, oh my gosh, my loins are burning down here in this avatar. I'm going to go do what I want with this lady. And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm seeing it from a bigger picture. The other scout saw beyond any desire, which is, look, we're in a machine of desire. This is a play of desire down here. The other guy saw beyond any desire, non-attached, that higher perspective, right? It doesn't make, reality bad or good at that level, but it's like he saw beyond just like impulses and attachments. And thought the woman looked otherworldly and perhaps like a sacred being. The worldly card, otherworldly. She does look otherworldly. The queen of fire, magical lady. He shared his opinion with his friend and warned him against offending the young woman. He's like, yo, you can do what you want, but I highly suggest we don't make that leap of faith. Sometimes leaps of faith can be bad, right? It's like, yo, don't just go do your impulses, bro. Like, this might have bad consequences. It was soon clear that the first scout would take nothing of the second scout's advice. He had to do what he had to do, right? He was on his own trip. The first scout tried to hug and kiss the woman, which is like a nice way of saying, this is the first steps of rape, I guess. The first scout tried to hug and kiss the woman, and quickly a thick white fog enfolded the 2 of them. Soon the cloud dispersed and only a woman remained. The second scout became terrified and drew his bow in defense. Moon in Sagittarius, the archer. However, the young woman, and in defense, Mercury and Scorpio. It's like, oh my God, do I have to kill this ghost goddess thing? He was freaking out and he drew his bow in defense. However, the young woman soothed him in his own language and told him there was nothing to fear. As she allowed him to step closer, he saw dry bones of his more important companion. Again, the scout became afraid and drew his bow, and again the woman calmed him and explained that she was divine, Wakan, and that she would not be harmed by his bow. She introduced herself as Tessin Wee, white buffalo calf, and assured him that if Lakota did all that she asked, they would have a better, more prosperous, and more peaceful life. White buffalo calf taught the Lakotas the right way to live and worship. She was also responsible for introducing the sacred pipe, the Chinunpunka, or the Chanunpa, and profound ritual that accompanied it, the peace pipe, right? So she introduced the peace pipe, and she's also like, yo, you guys are starving, kind of do what I say and you'll be fine. Is this a divine encounter? Is this an alien contact? It's up to you, right? But the point is, higher forces, the one doesn't, we're down here fucking around making choices. Oh, I'm going to go rape and hug and kiss that chick, or, oh, I'm going to not do that, right? And up here, it's all witnessing, and sometimes grace comes down and otherworldly things are embodied in the matrix. Avatars of higher consciousness, Buddhas, gods, Jesus, whatever. And the point is, they tell us better ways to be. And we have to take that leap of faith to believe them in order to live more fully alive in the vessel as such, right? And it's not like it was like, oh, here's a better way to be, and never, no sex, drugs, and rock and roll. She gave them the peace pipe, but she's like, this is a ritual. Don't do this every day. Don't smoke the peace pipe every 5 minutes. Do this occasionally for reasons, and there's probably a whole history there. The animal, there are two kinds of bison, also known as buffalo, left on Earth: the American bison and the European bison. They are all herd animals. The American bison is native to North America, with a huge range that once extended right across America and into Mexico. They were a plentiful and key animal for the indigenous peoples, gifting them fur, pelt, horn, bones, and meat. It's like a walking convenience store for them. These indigenous societies, particularly the Great Plains of the First Nation, moved seasonally according to where the bison would roam, so meat would be readily available even in extreme conditions. Half of Colorado is like 14,000-foot mountains, like my backyard. Half of Colorado is just plains. Bison were all up in here. There's still some bison around here now, being natured or whatever, reintroduced. Bison were hunted close to extinction during the 19th and 20th centuries by white settlers. This massive slaughter was most often for pelts, since the bodies were simply left in the plains to rot rather than being used honorably. There is also solid evidence that indicates there was a colonial strategy to kill as many bison as possible to inflict ongoing damage to the Indian people who relied so heavily upon these animals. Mercury and retro Scorpio, right? It's like, how can we fuck these guys up? Happily, the bison is making a comeback in both Europe and the U.S., and herds are protected in places such as Yellowstone Park. Bison are very stoic animals, able to withstand extreme cold and heat. They have thick fur and huge heads which they swing from side to side to clear snow so they can get the grass underneath. American bison range from 2 meters to 3.5 meters in height, and although they look slow and ungainly, they are not, and they are capable of running at 65 kilometers an hour and jumping a meter. Their babies are born with a distinctive red hue in spring and are referred to as red dogs. The magic. The magic of the bison is an ancient one that asks us to put aside the everyday and connect in with the natural world and that of the spirits. The world card, right? To connect, it's weird because it's like, yo, be sensual. Tap into the being that you are. If that means smoking the peace pipe, that means smoking the peace pipe. If that means intermittent fasting, that means that. If that means, you see what I mean? Like, there's ways to ritualize life, right? It's asking us, to put aside the everydays, and like, although you can chop wood and carry water and make that a ritual and pump it and infuse it with magic and intention at that level, we tend to get stuck in a monotony and get so regimented in our perceptions that we become robots in the dream, which we are at a level, right? But it's saying, hey, bring some of that magic from on high into the incarnation. With what? Ritual. Having everyday rituals is an important touchstone for mental and spiritual help. These cards are a ritual for me. Talking to my fiance for a few hours every day is a ritual for me. Going to the bathroom might be a practical ritual, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many levels of ritual in a paradoxical sense, Sun and Libra, where it's like, on the one hand, everything is mundane, and on the other hand, everything is illuminated, and it's a matter of your perspective that kind of shifts that, the ritual of your perspective. So having everyday rituals is an important touchstone for mental and spiritual help. Do things every day that make you feel good. Do things every week. Do things, once a year, do something, right? You see my point? So, keeping to good and positive ritual and habits for ourselves is something with which the bison can help us. Because sometimes we can get in bad rituals, right? Sometimes, what if like the ritual's like, we're going to go destroy that neighboring tribe and cannibalize them? It's like, that's not a good ritual, right? We need to see each other as facets of Indra's net up here, incarnated, witnessing each other, and there's better and worse ways to participate. Do not deny the flesh, in a sense. Be passionate, be bold, do it in a healthy, positively polarized way. Take a leap of faith. Try to get out of your ego, which is kind of the whole point of it, getting out of the attachment here, getting to a place here, and when you have a kind of a both and, well, imagine Libra scale, I am an individual, I am one with the all is one with me, I am one with the force is one with me. Like, you're going to realize how to better operate. And like I said, there's certain attributes to your RPG character that can influence how that ought to look, in a sense. Hit me up for reading if you want to know. Symbology: horns, milk, humpback, woman dressed in a white buffalo skin, and status is near threatened They are vulnerable to extinction. So let's go ahead and get an art oracle card. Whoa. So we've got William Blake. He might even be a Libra, actually, but I don't remember. He's even standing with his hands on his hips. I put my hands upon my hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. So he's kind of looking like a... I mean, Libras do the teapot thing. Straight up, Libra risings, Libra suns, they'll do that. But also, he was very fantastic. Sagittarius moon, very artsy, very sensual, very queen of fire. And he was like, live life to the fullest. I think William Blake was the one who said the road of excess leads to the paths of wisdom. That could have been him. It might have been Oscar Wilde. I might be confusing them. But William Blake saw the world as super magical, super divine. I'll read it in a second. He took leaps of faith to be different, which this card will describe, and he definitely made his art a ritual for himself. It wasn't just normal. It helped him to vivify life in a new and different way. William Blake. When young, William Blake saw visions of angels and biblical figures. That is some fucking magic, right? When he was just down here, he's like, oh my gosh, I see bigger picture stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm being visited by the woman of the lake, the passionate muse. He had a choice, live in fear or take a leap of faith and say, this means something and I'm not crazy, right? When you're just down here and you see a burning bush, what do? You try to ritualize that shit and make it more important to yourself and maybe to those around you if you're living authentically. So when young William Blake saw visions of angels and biblical figures, loved ones suggested he unsee them. It's like, yo, bro, you're crazy. Don't do that, damn weirdo. But those visions were Blake's inspiration. And that's what the Queen of Fire is all about. Inspiration in the body, right? We're here to be inspired by what? That which is above, the heavens, and our spirit, and knowing how fragile and temporal this game is. Life is a ritual. Life is nothing but, like, we're like little toys running around down here that we've forgotten our connection to source, and we're down here to basically take in data. We've taken the leap of faith into incarnation, and we're supposed to be sensual to the hilt, but like in a healthy way, and inspired. We're supposed to live inspired lives. Because even if you don't feel it, life is inspired. Those visions were Blake's inspiration. Religious, historical, and imaginary spirits posed for him, he said. Today, this committed naturist would have his own fashion line, but in his own time, Blake was considered a nut job, even as he led the romantics with his poetry, illustrations, and engravings, commenting on the dichotomy of want versus action, knowledge versus ignorance. Those are Libra Sun scale balance issues. Either or, and it's not either or, it's both and. Right? There is ignorance on this plane, and there is gnosis, and the all watch is on. Right? There is addiction, and there is pleasure that's healthy, and it all occurs. You see what I'm saying? A religious man, Blake hated Bible-weaving killjoy hypocrites, so he was a Christian at some level, it seems, or religious, spiritual, but he hated like fundamentalist types who were just like assholes. Blake hated Bible-weaving killjoy hypocrites and believed in human equality and sexual liberation. That is literally human equality, Sun and Libra, sexual liberation, Moon and Sag. Literally what that means. Keep fighting the good fight, Ghost of William Blake. So it's like, yo, let's do this. Hell is hypocrisy on earth. Right? Hell is hypocrisy on earth. We are in the world, and yet we're not of it. And yet we're here, right? We are one consciousness bifurcating into a fractal reality, and when we forget that, it's hypocritical, right? And when we act in a way that has, fuck it all, it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, it matters. This guy, girl, it, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. This is taking notes, and we're going to report back. And we had lessons. We came down here. We took a leap of faith. We said, I'm going to go incarnate. I'm going to go do these things. I'm going to go embody. That's a ritual. I'm going to go have a gender. That's a ritual. I'm going to go have a time and space. That's a ritual, right? The ritual of incarnation, in a sense. You plop down. This is like Terminator, the original Terminator. You came into a time space and you're all naked. And you're just like, I am here now. Yeah. Yeah, because fuck yeah. That's a little... Why? Because fuck yeah. Queen of Fire. We said I would, Shambhala, like the Unity Om is cool, but I want to go check out other flavors and try to bring that flavor into alignment with the Om. It's all good, but down here we're in ignorance, and the whole point is to Buddha, wake up. To what? The dream of what? The world. Hell is hypocrisy on earth. Hell is when your third eye, today is the third eye day, Ajna day, when you aren't seeing things as they truly are, right? Like the guy in the bison story. He was like, hell, it's like he didn't take the sacredness of that woman right, and he died for it. That's hell on earth. If he had been a little more chaste and like less zealous with his passions, which would be the shadow of the fire, queen of fire, if he was just a little more guarded and balanced, sun in Libra, maybe he wouldn't have been annihilated. But maybe his whole trip was, I want to be annihilated, and this is how it's going to manifest. We never know. So we've got, and that's the weird thing. You can't just run around shoving your medicine in other people's mouths. Maybe their trip is something completely different than yours. Everybody's avatar's got different attributes, right? Everybody's got a different ritual of being, in a sense. Everyone's body and spirit are ignited by different things. Everybody has taken the leap of faith into incarnation, but it might look a little different. That's what each of us are. A condensation of spirit and form in a very particular way, right? We've got pyrite. This is kind of funny because it's like there's the one into the mirror. It's like, oh, God, and then like creation, right? Like the eye. Oh my gosh, the cube of Saturn or whatever, right? Like that. It's like, oh, I'm up here and I'm perfect, and it's like come down into this fray down here. You can see the kind of bifurcation in that sense. Pyrite, what it is? Pyrite, aka fool's gold, is a metallic sulfide mineral. Its blingy, confident vibes and often perfect cube structure align us with nature's power to give energy to amazing, beautiful things like you, baby. Who needs it? The chronically lethargic, anybody sleeping on their potential? Heard. Where to put it? Pyrite is often used near the solar plexus or will center, but it works wonders anywhere you need a little boost of masculine energy. For example, on the fellas, the low abdomen. Just saying. And it's like, oh, we're even seeing physically represented the low abdomen, the fellas, William Blake's fellas. When to use it on that romantic weekend away from the kids and whenever the energy to power through feels shrouded in dark matter. Call on your core power is the advice we're getting. And that's what we're being told to do. With the World card, the core power is the witnessing, I am, energy, consciousness, however, and we're here to call upon that to revivify. In a sense, I mean, this is very kind of dualistic and Gnostic, but it's like, it's all perfect, but it can be like infused with a different power. And that power is in us, and that's what our connection to God is. That's what the chakras get us in tune with, right? We've taken the leap of faith from that one consciousness into material reality, if you want to put it that way. And it is spiritual at its own level. It's beautiful. It's all math. It's, oh my gosh, look at the story unfolding. I'm not denying the beauty and necessity even of the world card, but it's not ultimately what it is. As above, so below, as within, so without. So what we need to do is call upon that inner core power, that inner fire, the queen of fire, and tap in. And if ritual helps, do it. Look at life as a ritual. Tap in to the power and remember that we're here on mission. Sitting around and fucking, just letting days slip by is not the move. It could be very overwhelming at times. We might even have friends and family call us crazy, like William Blake. But did he just sit around and go, fuck it, I guess I'm going to just drink all the time? No, he made poetry and art and all sorts of beautiful things. There's even a tarot card deck of his that I've got on my computer. Hell is hypocrisy on earth. And the hypocrisy is that we think nothing has consequences, which it does, and that we're separate from source, which we're not. We need to be fully living passionate, full, vibrant lives in right relationship, ritual, if you want to put it that way, with source, which is in us. Does that make sense? We've made the leap. Enjoy the fucking ride, but know that your ignorance is, and that's the hell on earth. Knowing that, how you treat other people, you're like, oh, it doesn't matter if I steal from this person. It's like, no, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting God. You're hurting the whole creation, right? And sometimes there's lessons there. It's like, well, I chose to incarnate as a thief, so I've got to learn how to redeem myself from thief to not thief or whatever, right? Call on your core power. It's perfect and it's messy, but it's all one fucking thing. So let's go ahead and play some music. And I've plugged up my electric today. So we're going to jam. We're going to jam. Oh, hold on. We're going to jam. Hey, yeah. What's the mad. Alright, so we got the world card. It's honestly one of the better cards. Not that there's bad cards and good cards. That's not really what it is. It's more like this is the last card of the Major Arcana. This is a powerful card. They're all powerful, really. You know what I'm saying. I sound like a damn Libra. Or like a Gemini, which I am. I think it's both and. Yes, Jim it is. Alright, so, with the Queen of Fire as a clarifier. So let's play some ritual music for being incarnate, shall we? fun in a balanced, healthy way. Wow, that's washed out. That helped. We have the ability to have fun in a balanced, beautiful way, but also one that is authentic to us. We all have a life on Earth that's going to be different to everybody else, right? In the sense that we're all here to be different, but we're all connected to the source, right? So it's this kind of weird both-and-ness in the sense that you can't get away from that unity, but you have bifurcated into this duality, right? Haley and I were talking today about this gene key. I think it was it 35? I don't think so. I think it was 44. No, I'm spacing on which one it was. Anyway, the point is, he was talking about the 144,000 and core fractals and stuff. We're a part of a big fractal, and we're a little arm of that fractal. And it matters while we're in it, right? Like, so it's not something to scoff at. At the same time, reflect down here something that this would be proud of, and this would have won. And in another weird way, this is chosen to see what like making mistakes and suffering and division and polarity and all these things is like. With the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Fire in this deck, the Queen of Fire, we're here to live passionate, full lives, to embrace the ritual of incarnation. We've made the leap of faith. And we have to make another leap of faith back to unity, where it's like, it's all one thing and I forgot. Oh my God. Allow yourself the grace to understand that we have fallen into a dream, albeit a persistently consistent and convincing one, right? Hell is hypocrisy on earth. So if you say one thing and do another, you're just going to cause stress and division and stuff. Be who you are. Hit me up for reading if you want to know who you are. And you have, this changes throughout time. She wasn't, maybe she was a baby and then she's a little girl, now she's a woman, she'll be a crone one day, she'll die, whatever. All this matters. All those lessons are different for everybody. It's connected to the one. Live your life, live your passion, live your reality authentically, from the heart. It's a ritual. Treat it like that. Sometimes, don't do anything all the time, in a sense. Take the leap of faith. All right, this is about revivifying magically reality around us. It's not about just like, because we can get very trapped in the trance of the rat maze. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. This guy's like, oh my God, I'm so fucking disconnected. It's like you're never disconnected. Maybe you got lessons down here to understand what disconnection might feel like, and that's something you believe that you need to experience. Great. Passionately experience that. Look at life as a ritual. Take time out to do rituals. I mean, she was even doing the peace pipe in her culture and introduced that to them, right? There's a time for that. Don't smoke the peace pipe every day. Probably not a good look. But you are on your own trip, so you're going to have to answer to that unity at some point. Right? We've taken the leap of faith and continue to take leaps of faith, knowing that you're held and guided and supported by the universe. This consciousness is supporting and creating all that can happen down here. So it's all good in a sense, but then it's like, mistakes, try not to, learn through them. Don't repeat your mistakes. Hell is hypocrisy on earth. Hell is ignorance. Hell is on earth if we choose to see it that way. It's also heaven if we want to see it that way. Call on your core power with pyrite, right? This is about seeing divinity in as not separate, but like a little fundamentally different than the mundane, if you want to put it that way, and bringing that clarity into this. This is all just a bunch of little squares in different ways down here too, and that's just a more rarefied and pure quote vision. Like the one is not quite the same thing as the differentiation, but the differentiation reflects the one and the all in the one. The square in the many little pixels, the pixels in the pixel, the big pixel. You kind of see what I'm getting at. Live passionately though, live optimistically. It's happening for your best, highest good. Say that and it will be so. That is a ritual of consciousness, right? Take the leap of faith, why not? That's where we're at right now, right? Hell has hypocrisy on earth though, so try not to be a hypocrite. And everybody is, don't think you're outside of that, but at the same time, being aware of that and acknowledging that causes us to participate as avatars in a more effective, I guess you could say, a more balanced Sun in Libra and authentic Moon in Sagittarius way. Hopefully that makes sense. No podcast today. Hit me up for readings if you'd like, and be sure to get honest with yourself and don't just tap into things that it's all good. Take it seriously. Have fun. Take it seriously. See the Libra here. I'm kind of rambling, but that's where it's at. Hopefully that makes sense. Adios.